All right, what's going on, you guys? Nick here with Nick Strength and Power. So Lee Priest recently put a pretty interesting post up on Instagram. So Lee Priest was talking about the Mr. Olympia in the Classic Physique division. So let me read you guys exactly what Lee Priest posted here. So he says, out on a limb here, but I think the Mr. Olympia will be done after this year. The men's open will probably be gone, like the women's, and more will be put on the Classic Physiques and the other divisions to make the sport more mainstream. So I'm assuming he means more emphasis will be put on the Classic Physiques and the other divisions. So this is an interesting comment coming from Lee Priest. This is a guy that came from the 90s and early 2000s, competing against a lot of the guys that many consider to be the golden era of bodybuilding in the 1990s. And Lee Priest himself never was a mass monster. He was always a smaller guy. And he would beat guys based on, the aesthetics of his physique, essentially. The lines, the proportions, and the shape of his physique. And that's really kind of the same thing that Classic Physique is emphasizing. It's not so much how big you are. It's the lines and the structure of your physique that's going to make you win, because they have those weight classes in Classic Physique. So technically, Lee Priest has always kind of been a proponent of that mindset, that size isn't everything. And Lee Priest, of course, in the past has been outspoken about today's bodybuilders and the bubble guts and the size of some of these guys and the physiques and how the conditioning isn't as good as it once was. So I definitely think Lee Priest is being genuine here, and he's always kind of had a somewhat negative opinion towards the current state of the IFBB. That's never really been a secret, but I've got to say I kind of disagree with him here. I do think Classic Physique over time is going to certainly become more and more popular, and certainly will help to make the sport more and more quote-unquote mainstream. But I think it's not going to be after this year. I think it's going to take a lot more time than that. And do I think it will ever surpass the Men's Open Mr. Olympia? That's really hard to say. I think in all likelihood it probably won't. I do think with time, Classic Physique could become up there as one of the most popular divisions at the Mr. Olympia. But I think at the end of the day, Men's Open is probably always going to be the thing that sells the most tickets, has the most interest, and is always going to be, the crazy, freakiest pinnacle of the sport that people are going to want to watch, the Super Bowl of bodybuilding. And I think Classic Physique could become a close second to that. It could become 1 and 2. People want to see the main Olympia first, but they want to see, the Classic Physique Olympia just as much or just a little bit less. But it is kind of refreshing to see a Men's Open bodybuilder like Lee Priest recognize the popularity that Classic Physique does have, because in many cases, a lot of the Men's Open bodybuilders, including 7-time Mr. Olympia Phil Heath, have been outspoken about kind of not liking the Classic Physique division and thinking it's not going to have any impact at all on Men's Open bodybuilding. So, I don't really think it's going to overtake Men's Open bodybuilding, but to say that it's not going to have any impact on regular bodybuilding, I think that's just a ludicrous statement. But again, with the weekend warrior comments from guys like Phil Heath, and even Jose Raymond has said similar things. So a lot of bodybuilders across the board have had kind of this attitude towards Classic Physique, like it's just an easier division. It's not going to be ever as popular as Men's Open bodybuilding. I don't necessarily agree with that, but again, it's just refreshing to see a guy like Lee Priest having this attitude and recognizing how popular Classic Physique is getting. And that's one of the things that I've seen on my channel over time, is the interest is shifting from videos on Men's Open bodybuilders to people wanting more and more videos on Classic Physique. I get more requests for videos on Chris Bumstead, Wesley Vissers, Mr. Propa, Breon Ainsley, the Classic Physique Olympia, than I get. I actually don't really get any requests for make a video on Phil Heath, but I get requests every single day. Talk about this classic guy, talk about that classic guy. Did you see this guy's guest posing? The interest is definitely there, and I'm seeing it firsthand, and it's good to see a guy like Lee Priest recognize that. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section below about Lee Priest's comments on Classic Physique surpassing Men's Open bodybuilding after this year's Olympia. Thank you guys for watching the video, and please give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Nick Strength and Power, signing out.